All right, we're going to do applications with matrices, and we're going to learn how to do all these matrices on your graphing calculator. Don't forget that you're going to have to do your test with your graphing calculator on some and others without your graphing calculator. This is section 4.5. Let's get started. All right, we're going to just jump into doing them, okay? So you just need to get out section 4.5. We're going to do number 1. The instructions on what we're doing together will be up here on the screen very soon. Here we go. The instructions are at the top, and we'll just read them. I've put them in 1, 2, 3 step order. So number 1, you're going to read the problem and write down 2 equations with the variable of your choice. We've done that part before, okay? The new stuff is now translating, number 2, transform the equations into matrices. And number 3, solve the matrices. The great thing is with your graphing calculator, doing the inverse and multiplying, so you don't have to do all that by hand. You're going to write your answer as decimals because they won't be nice, pretty answers. They're going to be decimals like real life, like $2.57 or something. That most of your things we do don't turn out perfect. They turn out in decimals. And then make sure you put your labels on when we're done. Let's do number 1 together. Kayla and Heather are selling flower bulbs for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy bags of wild wind flowers, bulbs, and packages of crocus bulbs. Kayla sold 5 bags of wind flower bulbs and 2 packages of crocus bulbs for a total of $113.30. Heather sold 10 bags of wind flower bulbs and 7 packages of crocus bulbs for a total of $284.80. Find each cost of 1 bag of wind flower bulbs and 1 package of crocus bulbs. What variables will we use?
Windflower and crocus.
W and... All right, I with you.
I with what?
I am with you.
Okay.
W and C. All right, so we're going to have a formula for Kayla and a formula for Heather. So the first one we'll do, I like to write who we're working with. We're going to do Kayla's. And Kayla's up here. She sold 5 bags of wind flower bulbs and 2 packages of crocus bulbs for $113.30. So what equation is that?
5W plus 2C equals 113.30.
I agree. I agree. You can see it on my screen here. All right. What about the Heather equation?
Just use the same thing she did.
Same one. So 10 what?
10W plus 7C equals 284.80.
Since we've covered this part before, this is not new. We've done this before. Now the new stuff we've done also. We just didn't do it in conjunction with this, right? We took this last section and we transformed this into a matrix. So the matrix here is we're just going to pick out the 5 and the 2 and the 10 and the 7 and just stick it in our matrix. 5, 2, 10, and 7. Instead of X and Y, what goes in here next to it?
The variables.
Yeah, what one goes first? It's really important which one goes first. The W, because the W is first here. So when you are done and when you get your matrix, the top one will be W and the bottom one will be C.
So we're not solving how much each bulb.
You will be solving which one each does cost, but you'll be using your calculator to do so. And then the last matrix out here.
You said use your calculator. I'm using my calculator, but I'm doing it a different way than you are. I'm doing it the same way that we've always done it. I'm just not putting a matrices in there.
Just a second. Let's do this part, and I'll explain what we're going to do. 113, 30, and 284.80. All right, so we're going to put these in our calculator. This matrix here is going to be the A matrix. This one's going to be your B matrix. And how will I solve for my variable or my X matrix?
Multiply it by the inverse.
Yes, so I'm going to find the A matrix and multiply it by the B matrix. All right, let's put this matrix in. We are going to come into second matrix. We're going to scoot over to edit. And we're going to put in the matrix A. It's a 2 by 2. And we're going to put in the numbers 5, 2, 5, enter, 2, enter. Then 10 and 7, 10 enter 7, enter. All right, now we're going to put in the B matrix. Come into our B matrix, scoot over to edit because we're going to come down to the B matrix. And this is a 2 by 1 matrix. And we're going to put in $113.30. And then we're going to put in $284.80. There we go. And then we're going to get out and call up the A matrix and take the inverse and then do the B matrix. So here's the matrix. We're going to call up A. We're going to take the inverse, which is this button right there. And we're going to call up the B matrix and multiply them together. And we're going to get this. Now we're not going to turn this one into a decimal since this is a word problem. We're just going to leave it. And so we'll have $14.90 and $19.40. All right. So you guys got what as your answer after you put it in your calculator?
$14.90 and $19.40.
Do I need to do this?
That's $14.90. That's for, what is that for? The what? Windflower or the crocus? Windflower. So
Oh, do we have to write it like that?
yeah, something. So I know what it
Can we
is.
put like a W inside the
This is what I
matrix?
did.
No, I need to have a label, so I need to know it costs this much windflowers, and I need to know what it costs.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
And then what was 13 what?
1940.
No, it's 14.
1940.
Okay. For crocus. And dollars. Don't forget your dollars.
So give me a second. Hold on.
We're going to jump to 7, because I think these were the hardest.
Oh, we love these. What do you mean?
Word problems.
The boat traveled 104.96 miles each way downstream and back. The trip downstream took 6.4 hours. The trip back took 12.8 hours. Much more realistic. It's very unlikely that your trips are going to be exactly 3 hours. Find the speed of the boat in still water and the speed of the current. Now we have a distance and we have a time, and we're looking for rate. What's the relationship in distance, rate, and time?
We skip down to 7.
Distance equals rate and time.
Thank you. Distance equals
Were you
rate
doing
times
problems
time.
too? You get interrupted.
Usually with this one, I like to put the rate and time together and the distance on the other side. It makes it look like the equation that we're used to. All right, so our distance is always going to be 104.96, but we're looking for rate. Let's go the rate downstream. Does the water help when we're going downstream or hinder when we go downstream? It helps. So our rate is going to be
Boat plus wind.
boat, not in this case, not wind,
B plus
was
C.
current, and we have a time of downstream of 6.4, and that's 104.96. And then we're going to go upstream. That's the boat minus the current. This is the time we will have a negative. And we have 12.8
Going upstream is a pain.
and still 104.96. We now have some equations, but how are we going to make these into matrices? That's the next question.
Well, first we can divide both sides by the...
Does it go nicely? Does that 104.96, does it divide nicely by that 9?
No idea.
Do they divide nicely?
Find out.
Because I was even going to say you could distribute them to get your matrices if you
What's
wanted.
the U for?
It does go
Upstream.
in decently nicely.
What's the number?
16.4.
Okay, so it would be plus C equals 9. What did you say? 16.4. And the
then
U is
8.2.
for upstream. That's downstream
Do
and
I
upstream.
have to have the D and the U?
You do not.
Okay.
I did it so that you could see. And the next one does that 12.8 when you divide the 104. What does it become?
8.2.
So we have B minus C equals how much? 8.2. And then your matrix is pretty little. Also, it becomes what? What is the matrix for this?
1, 1, 1,
1, 1, 1, and
negative 1.
-1. And I've got B and C. And we've got 16.4 and 8.2. That was a 16.
How did y'all know to make it 1, 1, negative 1?
That's an excellent question. The the invisible number in front of each of these is a 1
That makes
and a
sense.
1 and 1 and a negative 1, okay? All right, we're going to get started again. We do the same thing, second matrix. We're going to edit the A matrix. We just did a 2 by 2, so we don't need to really change that. We're going to put the numbers in of 1, 1, 1, and negative 1. We're going to get back into the matrix again, and we're going to pick the B matrix to edit. We had a 2 by 1 before. We just have to put new numbers. It's 16.4 and 8.2. 0.2. Now, the really cool thing is we can be pulling up what we did last time. This is what we did last time, so we don't only have to type anything in. That'll be quite fast that way. We can put it in, and we're going to remember that we don't have fractions in this. We're going to leave them as decimals. So we'll have 12.3 miles per hour and 6.1 miles per hour. All right, so we got, once we put that in our calculator, we took the inverse of this matrix over here, and we multiplied it by that inverse, and we got the boat having a speed of 12 point what?
3 miles per hour.
3 miles per hour. And the current having a speed of 4.1 miles per hour. Let's move on to the next problem.
5.1.
We have more on this one. All right. It looks like the rest of those are going stuff you've already done, but we haven't actually done them on our calculators. We've not added and subtracted. We've not multiplied on our calculators. But I think if you can do the inverse on your calculator, it seems like you should be able to do these. But the cool thing is on number 9, this is an A matrix. This will be your B matrix. This will be your C matrix. And then they'll all be 2 by 2s. And you'll just stick them in.
B minus C.
And then you'll just do A minus B minus C on your calculator. Click, done. All right?
Okay. Let me finish writing this real quick.
Right.
So you just
put that as A, and that put B, and that for C. And then you'll just do A minus B minus C.
Okay.
Click enter, and you're done, right? Tell me what you guys get when you do number 9. So, let's review. We did really quick. We made this our A matrix, that our B matrix, that our C matrix. And then on your graphing calculator, once you were done, you took this one, minus the B matrix, and minus the C matrix, and you hit enter, and you got what?
I'm still doing that part. I got
Negative 4,
negative
1, negative 2, 0.
Double check your
Negative
matrix.
102,
Okay.
88, and...
Okay.
All right, that first matrix is a 2 by 2, and the next one's a 2 by 3, and that's okay to do because those middles are the same. The next one is a 3 by 2, and it's okay because those are middles are the same. And our answer will be that 2 by 2.
That's low-key disrespectful.
How do you
Alright.
clear the matrix when you're done?
Just a second, we called that A, we called that B, we called that
Number
C.
15 is under by 2.
We're going to multiply on our calculator, and we are going to get. All right, we said it was going to be a 2 by 2. Were we correct?
C.
All right, what's the top left number?
That's 28.
28, and then next door. Next door.
Sorry. Negative 46.
Negative 46, and then
Negative 44.
Negative 2.
all right, fantastic. Let's move on
I've already typed in number 19.
to numbers 17 and 19. I'm actually going to skip 17 because once I show you 19, you're going to do the same procedure with 17.
Yes!
And this is pretty easy to do with in your head if you wanted. But this one takes longer if you remember. What do these lines up and down actually mean to do? Is this inverse or determinant?
Determinant, right?
It's the determinant. And remember the determinant, you take these two little things on the side here, and you rewrite them, and then you do your downs minus your ups. There's a really fast way to do this. Put this into your calculator, please.
Okay.
Put this, I don't care what letter you call it.
That's number 21.
All right, we put this number 19 into our calculator as matrix A. And then we took the determinant by getting into our math button under the matrix menu and put that A matrix in. All right, to be able to do the determinant, we're going to have to still put the matrix in. So we're still going to have to put it in here. Going to second matrix. We're going to come over here to edit. And we're going to do, might as well call it the A matrix. It's a 3 by 3. I'm going to go across 4, -2, 5, 4, 4, 2, -5, -5, -5. And then we'll get into this new menu, the math menu here. And that when you get in there, you'll see it right away. It's the top one, number 1, the determinant. So let's bring that up. And if you remember, we put all that in A. So we're going to have to call up the A matrix, close your parentheses, and hit enter. And we should just have one number when we're all done, -60. And we got -60 or just 60?
-60.
-60. All right, fantastic.
17, 35.
And we noticed that number 17 is actually easier to do it by hand than it is in your calculator because it's so small. It's just the downs minus the ups, and we can multiply quite fast. So that's going to be 20 minus a -15. So that's going to add those together, and it's going to be 35. All right. Let's review what we did on this lesson. We did everything on our calculator this lesson. First of all, we did some application problems. And we used the inverse on our calculator to find them. There was no substitution or linear combination, or elimination. We just did it all on matrices, right? And which was a combination of lots of things that we've been learning. We just put it all together into one, okay? The next thing we did is we practiced using our graphing calculator on everything else. So that you know how to add, you know how to subtract, multiply, find the determinant, find the inverse, everything on your graphing calculator. Remember that your test will have both a calculator section and a not calculator section. Questions?
Can we move on?
Yes, we can. I hope this has been helpful.
Please.